Welcome to NEXTGames' Vagary series, this one covering the boss, Plouton. Now in this video, I'll give an overview of the Plouton BCNM battle strategy, and then an example of the fight against Plouton in that BCNM. We'll do all this on the ninja job with the warrior sub-job. Now this Vagary series will cover how to defeat all of the Vagary NMs so that you can upgrade your Empyrean armor. Now this is going to be the final video in the series, covering how to defeat Plouton, who will allow you to upgrade your Empyrean body armor. Now Plouton does not have standard attacks. He will use an ability as his attack every 2 seconds. Now fortunately, only one of these abilities is actually very dangerous, but let's go through them. Now for the first 10% of the run, until he's at 90% hit points, the only ability he's going to use is Impudence. Impudence is a conal attack that inflicts damage, zombie, and resets enmity. Now when he is between 90% hit points and 50% hit points, he's going to use the following abilities that hit slightly harder than Impudence. Now many of these are AoE, but have a fairly small circle of influence, therefore most of your trust should not get hit with them. Now Blast of Reticence is a damage and silence ability, Ceaseless Surge is damage and stun, Crippling Agony will inflict damage, bind, and knock you back, so go ahead and make sure you're up against one of the walls so you don't have to deal with that constant knockback effect. And Sepulture will inflict damage and petrification, Frozen Blood, damage and paralyze, and Torrential Pain, damage and will dispel 2 of your buffs. Now under 50% hit points, Plouton gains access to the following abilities that hit even harder than the previous ones mentioned, but still only for a maximum of about 1000 AoE damage. Eternal Misery is a damage, zombie, and an enmity reset ability. Incessant Void will just inflict damage. Tenebrous Grip will inflict damage and blind. And Bane of Tartarus, which will dispel all of your buffs, including food, and inflict 60% weakness, and this is an AoE ability, so it definitely is quite devastating and definitely his worst one. Now Plouton will change elemental strengths and weaknesses as the fight goes on, making him weak to either thunder or earth, and making it so either water or thunder will likewise heal him respectively. Now please note that dark and light skill chains do cure him as well for the elements aligned to them, so even skill chaining can trigger this healing effect. Now if you cure him, you will gain an encumbrance effect for a long period of time. This is going to be dependent upon how much you healed him for. If you healed him for 10 to 20,000 damage, it will last several minutes. So you definitely do not want to heal him, or you're going to be stuck in the same set of gear and weapons for a very long time. Now I did want to try and give you an example of what happens when you do heal him. So in the battle example, you will see that I heal him for a low amount of damage, about 7,000 with Blade He early on in the fight. And later on in the fight, I heal him with Blade Shun. And in doing so, heal him for a substantial amount of damage. This triggers him to level up and inflict encumbrance on me for almost the entire remainder of the fight. So it really does show you what kind of difference it can make. You have 30 minutes to finish this fight. Don't rush it. You only have to beat this once for your body unlock and then never again. So get in there, take your time, and do Blade 10 for the entire run so that there's no chance you're going to accidentally skill chain and cure him. Additionally, I've noticed quite often skill chains will hit for 0 damage anyway, so you really aren't missing out on a whole lot of damage here by using this strategy. Now let's briefly discuss trust selection. For trust, I'm using Coltada for an attack boost, though he does take quite a bit of AoE damage during this fight, so it really may make sense to swap him out for anyone else who will stand a little bit more at range and not take that extra damage. Using Joachim for marches, but note Olmia will also work just as well. I'm using Arcelia for haste. I chose not to use Koro here due to all the AoEs, but he may do just fine, especially if his hit point is boosted. I'm also using Monborough and Yoran Oran for cures, but really any AoE healing mages should do on this one, such as Kupipi. Okay, that should be all you need to know in order to take this one on. Let's see what a battle example looks like. Enjoy the run, everyone. And that will conclude the video on how to take on Plouton, and this will also conclude our Vagary series as a whole on how to take on all of the 5 NMs for your Empyrean armor upgrades. I hope you found this series helpful. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy out there.